Hi, my name is Lisette, and I'm at the Bernal Branch Library. Stay tuned for At the Public Library on City Watch Channel 54.
Welcome to At the Public Library, the video source for news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. This month's show features the schedule of terrific author programs coming up in November, a look at events planned to celebrate Children's Book Week, another neighborhood branch profile, and listings of upcoming library programs for children, teens, and adults at the Public Library. Serving the Outer Sunset District, the Ortega Branch Library is located at 3223 Ortega Street and is open Tuesdays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday afternoons and evenings from 1 to 9 p.m., and Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m. The Ocean View Reading Center at 111 Broad Street is open Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m. Serving the Castro and Upper Market neighborhoods, the Eureka Valley Harvey Milk Memorial Branch Library at 3555 16th Street is open on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m., Tuesdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesdays from 1 to 9 p.m. Stay tuned now for the events calendar for children for the month of November, beginning at the Ingleside Reading Center on November 1st at 10:15 a.m. with a preschool story time and crafts program for ages 3 to 5. On November 15th at 3:30 p.m., a crafts program for 6-year-olds and over. And on November 17th at 10:30 a.m., a preschool story time for 3 to 5-year-olds. Then at the Visitation Valley Branch on November 2nd at 10 a.m. and again at 10:45 a.m., a preschool story time for ages 3 to 5. Followed on November 9th with a preschool video program for ages 3 to 5 at 10 a.m. and again at 10:45 a.m. And at 3:30 p.m., a video program for 6-year-olds and older. Also at the Visitation Valley Branch, a holiday crafts program for all ages on November 16th at 10 a.m., 10:45 a.m., and again at 3:30 p.m. And on November 19th at 2 p.m., a story time for all ages of children with Olive Hackett Shaughnessy. That's all at the Visitation Valley Branch Library. Or you can join us at the Ocean View Branch on November 3rd for preschool story time for ages 3 to 5 at 10:30 a.m. And on November 10th at 3:30 p.m., a video program for 6-year-olds and older. On November 17th, a holiday crafts program for 3 to 5-year-olds at 10:30 a.m. and for 6-year-olds and over at 3:30 p.m. That's November 17th at the Ocean View Branch. The Bernal Branch is having story time for ages 2-year-olds and over each Tuesday in November. That's the 1st, the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th at 10:30 a.m. And Wednesday night is Family Night, November 2nd, 9th, 16th, 23rd, and 30th at 7 p.m. On November 22nd, preschool films for ages 3 to 5 at 10:30 a.m. and November 23rd at 7:15 p.m. And November 30th, Spin a Dreidel, Sing a Song, all ages welcome for a Hanukkah celebration at 7:15 p.m. at the Bernal Branch Library on November 30th. The Sunset Branch will be having a preschool music program on November 8th at 10:30 a.m. with Dan Goldenson. On Tuesday, November 15th, a preschool film program for ages 3 to 5 at 10:30 a.m., 11:15 a.m., and 1:30 p.m. And a video program for ages 6 and over on Wednesday, November 16th at 7 p.m., all at the Sunset Branch Library. The North Beach Branch will be having a preschool film program for ages 3 to 5 on November 15th at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 11 a.m., and 3 p.m. and a film program for ages 6 and over, also on November 15th at 10 a.m. and 10:45 a.m., all at the North Beach Branch Library. The main library will be having a preschool film program for ages 3 to 5 on November 16th at 10 a.m. and 10:45 a.m. And on November 17th, a preschool film program for ages 3 to 5 at 10, 10:45 a.m. and 2 p.m. And a film program for 6-year-olds and over at 4 in the afternoon. The Presidio Reading Center will be having a preschool film program for ages 3 to 5 on November 17th at 3 p.m. And later that day, a film program for ages 6 and over at 4 p.m. The Marina Branch will be holding a babysitting workshop for 10-year-olds and over on November 2nd at 3 p.m. and a preschool video program on November 8th at 10:30 a.m.
Every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m., the main library children's department hosts the Chess Club for children of all ages. International, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, and Korean chess are offered, as well as Go and Scrabble. That's the Chess Club in the main children's department at the main library, every Friday at 3 p.m.
Hello, my name is Linda Geislinger from the main library children's department in Civic Center. We'd like to invite you to come and bring a very happy appetite to see a display of children's cookbooks from around the world in many cultures. On display you'll find cookery from South America, Korea, China, throughout the world. And it will be the main entrees as well as the desserts. So as you prepare for Thanksgiving Day, perhaps you'd like to come down and get some ideas from our cookbooks on display, including one of my favorites, the Kids' Book of Chocolate. See you soon.
This year is the 75th anniversary of Children's Book Week, first celebrated on November 10th through 15th, 1919. This annual event, organized by librarians, book publishers, and booksellers, was envisioned as a way of encouraging books and reading for children. Each year, an artist is commissioned to design a new poster using the current year's theme. These images, published in the book 75 Years of Children's Book Week Posters, document the evolution of the illustrations from the 1919 poster, More Books in the Home, to the 1994 poster, Books for Everyone, Everyone for Books. From Jessie Wilcox Smith and N.C. Wyeth to Maurice Sendak and Chris Van Allsburg, Children's Book Week posters have featured some of the best artists of their time. And to help celebrate Children's Book Week, join us on Saturday, November 19th at 3 p.m. for a puppet tale of Jack and the Beanstalk, presented by Roger Mara, and a slideshow and talk by Robert Sansucci, award-winning author of Talking Eggs, The Legend of Scarface, and many other books for young readers. So come for an afternoon of folk tales celebrating Children's Book Week on Saturday, November 19th at 3 p.m. in the main library's Lurie Room.
Take that crap back!
Take it back.
Please take it back!
Come on now. Take it back.
Clean it up. Take it back.
Take it back.
Take it back. Please let me out of here.
Take it back! Hey, Ugly, take it back before we take you back. Buy stuff that's recycled. Recycle the stuff you buy. Take it back.
Dial a Story is a telephone service offering poems, rhymes, riddles, songs, and stories for children. Presented by the Office of Children's Services of the San Francisco Public Library, Dial a Story is offered in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Cantonese. For English stories, dial 626-6516. For Spanish stories, dial 552-0535. And for Cantonese stories, dial 552-0534. Now here's a sampling of some Dial a Story fun.
Hello, Thank you for calling Dial a Story, presented by Children's Services, San Francisco Public Library. Baby Rattlesnake is adapted from a story by Te Ata, a Chickasaw Indian. Out in the place where the rattlesnakes lived, there was a little baby rattlesnake who cried all the time because he did not have a rattle. He said to his mother and father, "I'm made just like my brother and sister. How can I be a rattlesnake if I don't have a rattle?" Mother and Father Rattlesnake said, "You are too young to have a rattle. When you get to be as old as your brother and sister, you will have a rattle too." But Baby Rattlesnake did not want to wait. He shook his tail, and when he couldn't hear a rattle sound, he cried and cried. Mother and Father said, "Shh, shh, shh." Brother and sister said, "Shh, shh, shh." But Baby Rattlesnake wouldn't stop crying. He kept the rattlesnake people awake all night. The next morning, the rattlesnake people called a big council. They talked, and at last one of the elders said, "Go ahead, give him a rattle. He's too young and he'll get into trouble, but let him learn a lesson. I just want to get some sleep." So they gave Baby Rattlesnake a rattle. Baby Rattlesnake loved his rattle. He shook his tail, and for the first time he heard ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. He was so excited. He sang a rattle song. He danced a rattle dance. Ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. Soon Baby Rattlesnake learned to play tricks with his rattle. He hid in the rocks, and when the small animals came by, he darted out rattling ch-ch-ch-ch-ch. He thought it was fun to scare the animal people. Mother and Father warned Baby Rattlesnake, "You must not use your rattle in such a way." But Baby Rattlesnake did not listen. One day, Baby Rattlesnake said to his mother and father, "How will I know a chief's daughter when I see her?" "Well, she's usually very beautiful and walks with her head held high, and she's very neat in her dress," said Father. "Why do you want to know?" "Because I want to scare her," said Baby Rattlesnake, and he started off right down the path before his mother and father could warn him never to do a thing like that. The little fellow reached the place where the Indians traveled, and soon he saw a beautiful maiden coming toward him. She walked with her head held high, and she was very neat in her dress. "Ah," thought Baby Rattlesnake, "she must be the chief's daughter." Baby Rattlesnake hid in the rocks and waited. This was going to be his best trick. The chief's daughter came closer and closer. When she was in just the right spot, he darted out of the rocks. "Ch-ch-ch-ch-ch-ch! Ho!" cried the chief's daughter. She whirled around, stepping on Baby Rattlesnake's rattle and crushing it to pieces. Baby Rattlesnake looked at his beautiful rattle scattered all over the trail. He didn't know what to do. So he took off for home as fast as he could. With great sobs, he told Mother and Father what had happened. They wiped his tears and gave him big rattlesnake hugs. And for the rest of that day, Baby Rattlesnake stayed safe and snug close by his rattlesnake family. Now, hang up the phone, please. Goodbye.
The main library offers a free orientation to the San Francisco Public Library System and the new online public access catalog every first Saturday of the month. The sessions run for an hour and provide a basic introduction to the library and its collections. Library orientations on the first Saturday of the month begin at 2 p.m. and take place in the Lurie Room of the main library. Times and schedules may change. Call 557-4400 for more information.
Every Thursday at noon, join us in the main library Lurie Room for free large-screen video showings. During the month of November, we'll be showing The Ancient World, beginning November 3rd with this fascinating video, which reveals the immense size, beauty, and majesty of these ancient man-made structures. The Seven Wonders of the Ancient World. Then on November 10th, King Tut, the face of Tutankhamun. Follow in the path of Howard Carter, who discovered this ancient tomb, and examine the mysteries that surround it. Then on November 17th, the great cities of the ancient world, Rome and Pompeii, a detailed reconstruction of both famous and ordinary buildings reveals the lives of their inhabitants. That's the ancient world, each Thursday at noon during the month of November. Want to learn how to read? Want to help someone else learn to read? Contact Project Read of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4388. Project Read is an adult literacy program that provides volunteer one-to-one tutoring for adult learners. Project Read's support of tutors and students includes tutor orientation and training, continuing education workshops for tutors and students, reading diagnostics for students, family programs, and referrals to classroom instruction at community college centers and to other agencies in the community. There are many ways you can help adults achieve their personal reading goals. Call Project Read to find out how. Learn to read or be a reading tutor. Phone 557-4388.
The San Francisco Public Library's Services for the Deaf and Hearing Impaired are located on the second floor of the main library in the Civic Center. Staffed with personnel fluent in American Sign Language, the Services for the Deaf and Hearing Impaired contain numerous resources for and about the deaf and hearing impaired. Deaf services may be reached via TTD at phone number 557-4433 or voice phone at 557-4434. Hours of operation are Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 12 noon to 6 p.m. and Tuesdays noon to 9 p.m. Looking for a great deal on books? Then drop by the Book Bay Bookstore in Fort Mason. Operated by the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library, the Book Bay Bookstore offers great prices on used books, records, and tapes. There's something for everybody at the Book Bay, and all proceeds of the Book Bay benefit the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library. The Book Bay Bookstore is located in the Fort Mason Complex, Building C, on the first floor. The store is open Wednesdays and Fridays from 11 to 5, Thursdays 11 to 8, and Saturdays and Sundays again from 11 to 5. The Book Bay also welcomes donations of books. If you have books you'd like to donate, call the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4257 for more information. So, now you know, that's bargain books at the Book Bay Bookstore, Fort Mason, Building C.
Library patrons in many branches are now meeting to discuss favorite works of literature. Titles change regularly, and more branches can join in. Here's the schedule for the month of November. The Sunset Branch will be discussing Balkan Ghosts, A Journey Through History by Robert Kaplan on Wednesday, November 2nd at 7 p.m. Also on November 2nd, the Western Edition branch meets at 7:30 p.m. to discuss Cormac McCarthy's All the Pretty Horses. On November 16th at 7 p.m., the Sunset Branch group will discuss their favorite fiction choice of the month, John Updike's Rabbit is Rich. The following day, November 17th, the Bernal Heights branch will discuss The House on Mango Street by Sandra Cisneros in their afternoon meeting at 4 p.m. Finally, Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez will be the subject of the November 30th Noe Valley Sally Brunn branch discussion at 7:30 p.m. Check a print copy of At the Public Library under the Literary Programs and Events heading for information on book discussion groups in a neighborhood branch near you.
There's lots in store for teens this month at the public library, starting with a babysitting workshop at the Marina Branch on Wednesday, November 2nd at 3 p.m. Presented by the Children's Council Child Care Switchboard and the American Red Cross, the workshop will offer useful babysitting tips and information for babysitters 10 years and older. The Marina Branch is located at 1890 Chestnut Street near Webster. Also scheduled for teens this month, 2 performances by the Word for Word Performing Arts Company of Mary Whittington's story, Avel, from the Vampire Short Story Collection. The Word for Word ensemble transfers stories into one-act plays, reciting every word of the story to create a unique dramatic experience. Word for Word's presentation of Avel takes place at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 2nd at the Excelsior Branch Library, located on 4400 Mission Street. Avel will be presented again at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, November 9th at the Bernal Heights Branch, 500 Cortlandt Avenue. To check out a copy of the Vampire Short Story Collection, edited by Jane Yolen and Martin H. Greenberg, stop by your neighborhood branch library. And on Wednesday, November 16th at 3:30 p.m., the Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch will present a homework and study skills workshop for students ages 11 through 14. This workshop is designed to assist students in developing effective homework and study skills. The Bayview Anna E. Wadden Branch is located at 5075 3rd Street.
Where do you go when you want to know more about a social disease, G? My father.
Nancy Rubin's class, down in the B building.
Probably talk to my parents.
When you go to the doctor, they always have those pamphlets sitting around.
In the PLACE, the public library. Where do you go to get the 411, the additional info, yo?
Well, I think I go to my grandmother. She's pretty cool. She knows about all that stuff.
The library. Knowledge, power, use it.
Hello, my name is Ed McBride. I'm the Coordinator of Automation, Technology, and Telecommunications for the San Francisco Public Library. What we're looking at today is a prototype of the San Francisco Connection Multimedia Workstation. This is a presentation of library collections that have been traditionally shown by appointment in the San Francisco History Room or in some cases have been in storage and not accessible. We're trying to take these collections and make them accessible through use the multimedia technology. Our partners are Triadigm Software of Sacramento and San Francisco, as well as Digital Equipment Corporation of San Francisco. We as a staff came together and identified collections that we wanted to use this method as a test. There was some criteria. Some of these collections have been in the collection for quite some time, have been processed and cataloged traditionally. Some of these collections have never been seen before, and we wanted a chance to see how we could use the technology to organize and catalog the collections. There are some very exciting parts of this that have never been seen before, and the point being that we want the collections accessible at multiple sites. Through technology and digitizing these images, we're allowed to have multiple views of the same image at the same time, where traditionally it would take one person or 2 people seeing a photograph. We can put this photograph across our network and we can have hundreds of people viewing the same photograph at multiple sites. So the idea here is to take these rare and special collections beyond the walls of the history collection. The system you're looking at, again, I will stress, is a prototype. We anticipate many revisions of this. The plan is that this will be available in the history room sometime during the month of August and fully integrated into our system by the time the new main library opens. The new main library will incorporate at least 36 of these workstations, as well as the 6 resource branches in our branch system will have access to the collections on the opening day of the main library. Our plan is to ultimately have these at all library locations. We do have some partners in the community that is using the technology with us, helping us build the database. One of those partners is the San Francisco Art Commission, where they are putting into the system a slide registry of artists that have placed their collections or their works into the San Francisco Art Commission's gallery on Grove Street. as well as the San Francisco African American Historical Network. They're placing some documents into the collection so that we can see how partnering with outside agencies besides the library can build this product. The product has been designed to use a mouse with an interactive PC and also with sound. Multimedia, by definition, incorporates sound, video, audio, and text into one presentation. And you'll see as we go through the system how it incorporates all those different media. Also, we have built in an interface that allows us to tap into the online catalog so that the researcher or user could look at our traditional catalog, find out what we have to support this in the collection, all from one workstation. As you're looking at the system now, what you see is kind of an enticing come up, use the system, highlighting what is in the collection or what's in this presentation. And in order to get to the main menu, the mouse is used to click on the menu button. There's also a help screen that anytime you can press, and you have text identifying what each button means and how it can be used. The next screen we see is basically a welcome screen. The background of this screen is the current library logo, and it presents 6 options for us to look at on the system. The first option is the San Francisco History Collection. One of the highlights about this screen is that the background came from a historical map that we have of the city and county of San Francisco. The text allows you to find out more about this collection, and we have identified 2 collections that we're highlighting in this presentation. First of all, the History Room, which allows you to get some sort of information about the History Room. You may click and roll text to get information about the room, where it's located. And also you can get information about the photo collection, which is a major part of the San Francisco History Room. By pressing the next button, you see that we have 2 options for this part of the presentation. One of those is a Market Street video tour. This is a film that was filmed in 1905. It's a trip down Market Street where a camera was actually placed on the front of a cable car and went down Market Street. We click on this presentation and we have some supporting information about Market Street at that time. We get to see the introduction to this presentation. We can find the chronology of the presentation and how it was built. We also get some history about Market Street, as well as the transportation of that time. Pressing the next, we actually then pull up the video, and then again this film has been digitized, it's on the disc, and what you will see is the trip down Market Street. There is text that gives you a history of the film. And what most people find in looking at this demonstration is that the traffic patterns on Market Street hasn't changed much from 1905 to 1994. This presentation allows us to pause at any time, freeze the frame like you would on a VCR. It is narrated, highlighting all of the points on Market Street.
Right is the Oddfellows Hall, and the gray building beyond across 8th Street is the Grant Building from 1905. A white Postal Service automobile is at the left center. At the far right, you can see a city water wagon, and road work is underway on the left as we go further down the street.
By pressing the back, we can then back up logically into the presentation. We can then look at the photo collection. In the photograph collection, we have close to 300,000 plus photographs highlighting San Francisco history. What you see here, again, is, as I mentioned earlier, the backdrop to one of those maps in that collection. We then get an old map of Market Street, highlighted intersections by letters. The person using the system can either highlight on the letters or can go actually to an intersection they're interested in. This presentation has been put together so that you could look at the photograph, and here we see one of Market at 5th Street. You can press on the photograph, have it enlarged, see the top part of the photograph, the bottom part of the photograph. This photograph shows that there's a parade going down Market Street at the time. Or we can take a trip around that intersection. This happens to be the intersection of Powell, Market, and 4th and 5th. We see here the California Academy of Science building. Here we see the Emporium department store in 1905. We see Market at Powell, the Baldwin Hotel, located right here. We showed a chronology here of the Baldwin Hotel. This was 2 years after opening in 1878. This shows during the 1890s the wood sidewalk down Market Street in front of the Baldwin Hotel. Here's a photograph that shows the Baldwin Hotel being destroyed by fire November 23rd, 1898. Here's the site after the fire. Here is the Flood building being constructed in 1904 on the same site as we know it now. This is the Flood building. And here is the Powell Street and Market intersection. If you go down there now, this is actually a Gap store. Again, the user comes back and is able to click on any of these intersections within the Market Street corridor. Another way of showing how photographs in the collection are grouped together and presented. Once the database is built and all these photographs are actually digitized, you can search these through a massive database and pull together your own presentation. The next collection that we highlight is the Gay and Lesbian collection. There are 4 menu options within this presentation. Here is a collection that is very new to us. The Gay Lesbian Research Center will be in the new main library when it opens. These are collections that have been given to us to take care of and to present as part of the history of the gay and lesbian community in San Francisco. This is a collection that we call the Barbara Greer, Donna McBride pulp paperback collection. It is a collection of pulp paperbacks related to gay and lesbian issues. We have a gallery option, is what it's called in multimedia lingo, that allows us to see these paperbacks, the front cover. A researcher could then flip through this database, select a topic, and the screen will actually display the front and back cover. Ultimately, we could actually digitize every page so that you could read this online if you wished, but this would allow the user to say, I'd like to look at this, go to the research center and actually touch and feel that copy. The other part of the collection, within the collection we have letters. This is a gallery option featuring letters written by Harvey Milk to Joe Campbell. And we were able to use this technology for the researcher to actually look at the envelope from the Western Union telegram that was sent. You can actually view the letter with a typed actually text to the right side with the actual telegraph on the left. Or we can actually view the letter and have it read to us.
Joe Frank Campbell, 444 Central Park West, apartment 14G, New York.
Again, the option is to pause the letter at any time or continue. And in this presentation, what we've done is after the reader reads the front copy of the telegram is flipped so that we can see the response from Mr. Campbell to Harvey Milk.
Regards to all the boys, Harvey.
Received letters and telegram.
Noting that Mr. Campbell wrote the response on the back, and you can see where the Western Union representative actually counted the words.
Please don't be depressed. I worry about you very much.
Now this actual piece of the collection can be put away and preserved, but still is accessible to those who would like to look at it. Another part of the collection is Mr. Peter Adair donated his works from Word Is Out. What we try to do here is identify interviews in the collection that Mr. Adair did prior to producing and editing the final version of Word Is Out. He used this to go back and decide who would be in the final work. And because of the importance to the community, we've identified 4 of the interviews that did not make the final version, or in some cases may have, so the researcher can go back and look at those. Clicking on the picture.
Well, I just feel naturally comfortable in it, and it isn't, you know, and that's part of the natural flow of my consciousness, I guess.
This video footage was taken from the collection, and through a cooperative of the Bay Area Video Coalition was cleaned and reformatted so that we could digitize it. Again, you may pause this at any time. On the right-hand side, we have a biography of Teddy Matthews.
And men on the street would get attacked and stuff, what would happen when men would discover that I was a man and not a woman. And so out of fear, I tried to pass for a woman.
Again, highlighting in this presentation that if this were a traditional video, we would have one VCR with one TV and probably one copy of this. Now we can put this across the network and hundreds of people can see the same image at the same time. We also always take an opportunity to tell people more about the collections, and this is a way that we can. We actually can give information about the scope of the Gay Lesbian Center, the access to the center, where the funding is coming from to support it, where you make contributions or donations, and a little more about the collections that are thus far making up this collection. In the current main library, when it opened, there was the ability for the user to come in and identify a piece of sheet music, go to a music room, and actually have a piano where they could play the music. In the new main library, we'll have the ability to select electronically a piece of music from the Dorothy Starr collection. We have an introduction and bio of Dorothy Starr, who she was, and her contribution to San Francisco. We also have a gallery approach to some of the selections that our archivists have identified from that collection. The user could flip through, identifying a piece of sheet music, pressing on that sheet music, and having that music performed. As you can see, we can follow along with the performance. And eventually the user would be able to print this out. Also highlighted on this screen are credits for the performers. The performers that put this together are staff and local talent, as well as we have index information about the collection. Surprisingly enough, people will come in and say, I remember as a child playing the piano and there was a picture of Judy Garland on the cover. I don't know the name of it. Can you tell me if you have it? Through this type of indexing, we're able to actually tell you who's on the cover of the music and actually find, or try to find, the piece you're looking for. We also can flip onto the cover, see any notes that may have been written on the cover, find out who wrote it, who composed, and the actual, in this case, we can see the original price of this piece of sheet music. By pressing the back key, we're able to go backwards through the gallery presentation. Exiting the Dorothy Starr presentation of the multimedia workstation, we wanted to highlight branch information about the San Francisco Public Library. In this presentation, you have an example of how we could use multimedia to highlight events that may be occurring during that month here at the library. For example, we can see the exhibition calendar, adult programs, children's programs, teens, lap sit schedules. We also, through a gallery option, allow you to have a picture of the actual branch that you might be interested in finding out some information about that one. For example, if you wanted to find out about the Golden Gate Valley branch, we give you their address, their hours. Eventually we would be able to give you more history about the branch, the collections, and other information that would be pertinent to the branch system. Pressing the next allows you to flip through this photograph collection of the branches. As I mentioned earlier, one of the features of the multimedia workstation will be the ability to go into the online card catalog. This allows us to do searching of all of the books, videotapes, other media that we have in the library. It also allows you to search, and it will be cross-referenced over to the multimedia workstation. And the last feature on the multimedia presentation allows us to provide credits for our partners as well as the staff members that participated in this prototype. The prototype of the San Francisco Multimedia Workstation is available in the San Francisco History Room of the main library. It's available during hours of operation for the San Francisco History Room. We encourage our patrons to come up, look at it, use it. We're encouraging and asking for feedback on how we can further develop this technology, and we will be making changes to the prototype. Other collections will appear in this presentation, as well as new formats and a change in the product. As the collection and the database grows, some of our search methods will change, but it is a step towards using this technology to present this type of information. Thank you very much.
You're watching At the Public Library here on City Watch, cable channel 54.
On Wednesday, November 9th at 8 p.m., the Sunset Branch will present a slide talk program, Patmos, Greek Island and Holy Land of St. John. San Francisco native Steve Georgiou, author of The Last Transfiguration, The Quest for Spiritual Illumination in the Life and Times of St. Augustine, will present a slide tour of spiritual sites where St. John the Divine wrote the Book of Revelation. The slide tour of Patmos takes place at 8 p.m. Wednesday, November 9th at the Sunset Branch Library, located at 1305 18th Avenue. The Special Collections Department of the main library will present a slide talk program, The Presidio Through Time, beginning at 12:10 p.m. on Friday, November 18th, in the Lurie Room of the main library in Civic Center. The presentation, narrated by San Francisco History Room volunteer Michael Lampin, is in recognition of the new national park status of the Presidio and will explore its natural and human history. The program, which features slides from the library's San Francisco History Room, begins with the geology and natural landscape of the site and continues through historic times. Slides of special interest include amphibious landings at Crissy Field, the Pet Cemetery, and an 1876 mock battle on the bay. This historical slide tour of San Francisco's Presidio will be presented one time only on Friday, November 18th at 12:10 p.m. in the Lurie Room of the main library. And now, here's some news and notes of interest about the San Francisco Public Library system. Last month, the Bayview Wadden Branch Library presented the 5th annual Bayview Hunters Point Poetry Reading, hosted by award-winning poet Larry Ware. This annual Bayview Wadden Branch Poetry event has become a neighborhood tradition, attracting poets of all ages to the library.
I'm a little Mexican girl, as you can see. Nothing in this world will ever stop me. I don't want to fight or curse or even throw bricks at night. I want to do my work in school and not be a fool. I want to learn how to read and write, and everything I do it right. Yes, I'll say it out loud. I'm brown and I'm proud.
If you'd like to see more of this wonderful program, make sure to catch the Bayview Hunters Point Poetry Reading Highlights video, which is being presented at various times this month here on City Watch, Cable 54.
The main library now has abridged and unabridged audio book cassettes available for circulation. Both fiction and non-fiction titles are in the collection. The books on tape are located on the second floor in the lending library adjacent to the video collection.
On October 26th, the North Beach Branch Library played host to over 40 young sleuths as they tried to solve the murder of Reed Tomes. The Murder at the Library event is geared for kids 11 through 14 and can be described as a cross between a live game of Clue and a scavenger hunt. Teams of detectives set out to solve the mystery by interrogating 5 suspects. In the process of running about to discover clues to solve the puzzle crime, the participants become more familiar with the library. Teen librarians Susan Harlow and Kathleen Keeler organized and directed the program, which was capped off with a pizza feast donated by the fine folks of North Beach Pizza.
The library system will be closed in honor of Veterans Day on Friday, November 11th. The library will also be closed on Thursday, November 24th, and Friday, November 25th for Thanksgiving. If you're interested in some Thanksgiving reading during the long holiday weekend, check out The Dragon Thanksgiving Feast, Things to Make and Do by Laureen Leedy. This lively book combines the story of Ma Dragon and her little ones with activities such as making table decorations, Thanksgiving recipes for kids, and a holiday parade. Or take a look at Thanksgiving from the perspective of the Patuxet Indians in Squanto and the First Thanksgiving. And for some real Americana, enjoy the 332 magazine covers of Norman Rockwell, which include several great views of Thanksgiving. And enjoy the holiday. This year, the 8-day celebration of Hanukkah begins at sundown on Sunday, November 27th. Whether you've been celebrating Hanukkah your whole life or are just finding out about it, the library has books for your particular needs. My First Hanukkah is the perfect first book for toddlers and young children who are just beginning to recognize the familiar objects of the holiday. I Love Hanukkah explains the traditions, games, foods, and the story in a way youngsters can understand. Finally, The Power of Light celebrates a world in which miracles abound, love triumphs, and faith prevails. These 8 tales, told by master storyteller Isaac Bashevis Singer, can be read one each night as part of the Hanukkah celebration. So read about it, and Happy Hanukkah.
The Noe Valley Sally Brunn Memorial Branch Library Classic Film Series continues this month with The Lion in Winter. Starring Katharine Hepburn and Peter O'Toole, The Lion in Winter is a magnificent, intense historical drama of the conflict and passions of King Henry II and his ambitious queen, Eleanor of Aquitaine.
How was your crossing? Did the channel part for you?
It went flat when I told it to. I didn't think to ask for more. How dear of you to let me out of jail.
It's only for the holidays.
Like school, you keep me young. Here's gentle Alice. No, greet me as you used to. Fragile I am not. Affection is a pressure I can bear. Oh, but I do have handsome children. John, you're so clean and neat. Henry takes good care of you. And Richard, don't look sullen, dear. It makes your eyes go small and piggy, and your chin look weak. Geoffrey. Is Philip here yet?
Not yet.
Let's hope he's grown up like his father. Simon Pure and Simon Simple. Good Louis. If I had managed sons for him instead of all those little girls, I'd still be stuck with being Queen of France, and we should not have known each other. Such, my angels, is the role of sex in history. That will be Philip. Where's Henry?
Upstairs.
This 1968 production of The Lion in Winter garnered 6 Academy Award nominations and received Oscars for Best Screenplay based on material from another medium, Best Original Score, and a Best Actress Award for Katharine Hepburn. This 16mm screening of The Lion in Winter at the Noe Valley Sally Brunn branch on Wednesday, November 15th, begins at 7 p.m. Hi, Dave Schwabe for At the Public Library, continuing our series of San Francisco Branch Library profiles, today with a visit to the Bernal Heights Branch Library, located at 500 Cortlandt Avenue in Bernal Heights. There's been a branch library up on Bernal Heights for over 70 years now, but it wasn't always located at 500 Cortlandt Avenue. On March 1, 1920, the first San Francisco Public Library on Bernal Heights was established here at 303 Cortlandt. It was described as being in the nature of a deposit station, with limited number of books and without a trained attendant. Throughout these early years of library service in the Bernal community, the Bernal Heights Progressive Club tirelessly championed the cause to bring a full-fledged branch library to Bernal Heights. John L. Silvey, a past president of the Bernal Progressive Club, successfully led the charge, and in 1936, a full branch library facility was opened at 324 Cortlandt Avenue. But Mr. Silvey didn't stop there, and it was he and the Honorable Mayor Angelo J. Rossi who presided over the dedication ceremony on October 20th, 1940, of a brand new Bernal Heights branch library located on 500 Cortlandt Avenue. Construction began on the site in 1939 as part of the Federal Works project, with a price tag of $50,000. Designed by architect Frederick H. Meyer, the building is charming in its simple California style and is constructed of reinforced concrete with a hardwood interior finish and asphaltic tile floors.
I've been coming to the Bernal branch for about 17 years, and now I'm bringing my kids up here to do book reports for their classes. So I find this place really educational, as you can say, you know? And it's real close to my home, and it's got all the information I need, the books, whatever it is that I need to find. So this is a great place. You guys should come all the time.
Well, one of the things, we have an active community who supports the library a lot, and we do have heavy uses of children. Or we have the adult section, which is your typical core collection, but we do have Spanish languages books. We have books on cassette. Also, we have the MacArthur videos, which were donated to each of the branches. We have about 150 videos from the PBS, which are used for adults and children's use it for reports. Some of the programming we have for the adults, we have a monthly group selection that selects a particular book, and we have a book discussion. And then on the children's, we do have programming. We have family night every Wednesday at 7:30. Also, on Tuesday, we have regular story hour for preschoolers.
The Friday afternoon chess club is another great activity that brings children to the library. What do you like about the Bernal Branch Library?
I like playing chess, and I like beating Doug at chess. Well, I check out a lot of my books, but The chess club is my main reason for coming.
I need a place to come to do my homework, and if I go home, I probably won't do it. And so I come here so I can read, and then when I finish my homework, I'll maybe socialize with or talk or something with someone.
Mm-hmm. You have friends here at the library?
Yeah, lots of friends. Basically, my friends are in the chess club.
Yeah, I come a whole lot because I'm in a homeschool, and when we come here to do like reports on essays, like the atmosphere and weather and stuff, so it's just a little way up here, and we just use the encyclopedias and everything, so you don't have to go all the way and buy our own because they cost a lot.
We have 2 public access computers that you can that people use for reports, for resumes. It's WordPerfect and DOS. That's used quite a lot. And we also got another one donated by the community, an Apple that would be used for the children's side. We do have, I have a staff of, there's 5 of us. I'm the adult, the branch manager, the children's librarian, and the technician, and there's 2 pages. And right now we're opened 31 hours, and what I heard is that maybe in January we're going to be open 40. But we do have a very strong support from the community here, and it's a nice feeling to have that.
In 1980, work began on a Bernal community mural project that was originated by former Bernal librarian Ruth McGinnis, community activist Kate Esposito, and a volunteer neighborhood group. The mural, completed in 1982, surrounds the library and depicts the history of Bernal Heights, as well as the ideals of unity, cooperation, and of hope in the future.
What I like about the Bernal Library is that it's a clean, nice, accepting environment where I could work and study, and it has lots of references. Like if I want to do a report, I can come here and work on it, and it's just makes things easier.
For over 70 years, the San Francisco Public Library has provided a source of knowledge and enjoyment to generations of Bernal Heights residents. Join us next time when At the Public Library visits another neighborhood branch library.
On Saturday, November 12th at 3 p.m., join Bill Griffith, author of Zippy the Pinhead, and Tom Tomorrow, author of This Modern World, for a slideshow and discussion of their work. A book signing will follow. This event is part of the continuing author series at the main library and takes place in the Lurie Room on the 1st floor. City Guides are volunteers who enjoy the city and its stories. Let them share their knowledge and enthusiasm with you on free walking tours of various San Francisco locations. Call 557-4266 for more information on free public tours of San Francisco.
You too can be a friend of the San Francisco Public Library. Join us. For more information, phone the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4257.
We'd like to hear what you think of At the Public Library. Please send your comments to San Francisco Public Library, Media Production Services, Civic Center, San Francisco, California, 94102.
You've been watching At the Public Library, here on cable channel 54, City Watch. At the Public Library features news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. And for a printed copy of some of the information in this program, pick up a copy of At the Public Library at your branch or at the main library. Tune in next time for more At the Public Library, and thanks for watching.